First in high definition from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
Here's a vivid reminder on why you have to pull way off the road when you're changing a flat tire.
And we showed you this sailboat in trouble in Ocean View during Hurricane Irene. Police arrested the man, rescued again. We'll tell you why. Plus, 10 on Your Side is tracking another storm in the tropics, where Lee is headed. A deadly accident on the high-rise bridge in Chesapeake.
A pickup truck ran into a woman who was changing her tire in the drive lane. This was the scene around 8 last night from our WAVY traffic jam cams. Police say 48-year-old Lisa Renee Green died instantly. 10 on Your Side's Andy Fox spent the day gathering details about what happened. Andy.
Nicole and Alvita, just look at this. I mean, look at the total devastation of what happened. The first thing you need to know is that Lisa Green worked for a roadside service and was on her way to help a stranded motorist. She got a flat herself and obviously felt comfortable changing tires because that's what she does. Sadly, she changed the tire in a place that ended up costing her her life. This was the traffic jam cam heading west on the high-rise bridge. You can see the accident scene on the right. Trooper John Zyra was responding to a report of debris on the highway when he came upon the crash.
We do know that an individual was changing a tire on the high-rise bridge.
This is the high-rise bridge where Lisa Green was changing the rear tire on the driver's side. You can see there is no pullover area. Green was actually stopped in the travel lane when she was hit from behind by this pickup truck. You can imagine the impact. The crash, so horrific and deadly, Green died instantly. Look at the horror of this crash. What was left behind? The impact.
A lot of times they don't want to sacrifice the rims. They don't know to get off the road. They think just having the hazards on will be all right, but it's not all right to do that.
Green was herself on her way to a roadside assist working for Jackrabbit Services when she got a flat, got out to fix the flat, was hit by the pickup truck. Another car would then slam into the pickup truck.
Interstate, you have people traveling at very high rates of speed. They're not expecting a car to be stopped. It's a closed access highway. You're not supposed to be stopped on the interstate or the shoulder.
Lisa Green's family is devastated. We contacted them. Her mother and brother came here from South Carolina and they did not want to make any comments. State police say as of now there are no charges pending against the two other drivers. Commonwealth's attorney wants to wait until the accident reconstruction is complete before making any final decisions on charges, if any at all. I am told that speed likely will not be a factor in this crash. Tonight at 6, Virginia State Police tell us what should have happened in this case, and if that had happened, Lisa Green likely would still be alive. I'm Andy Fox, 10 on Your Side.
You've seen this video from Saturday during Hurricane Irene. A man and woman rescued from their sailboat in East Ocean View. Michael Calabrese was arrested earlier this week for trespassing at a city shelter. 10 on Your Side learned he was arrested again last night. 10 on Your Side's Ann McNamara is live in Norfolk with details. Ann?
Well, Nicole, he was arrested again for public intoxication. Police tell us last night he defecated in the police car, but today he's no longer in jail. He posted his $50 and he's out. But meanwhile, this problem is still in Ocean View.
Hey, you hear about the boat that beached?
Talk about shipwrecked. Hurricane Irene washed this boat on Willoughby shores after an emergency rescue. But the two passengers still seem to be living here, much to the surprise of neighbors.
I guess he thought we were laughing at him. He said, you wouldn't laugh if this was your house.
But the city of Norfolk says this house needs to move, citing 40 gallons of diesel fuel and human waste on board. The boat's owner was working with the city to tow it.
Once he got his plan formulated, he was going to give that plan to her on what his idea and plan was of removing the vessel from the beach.
But he didn't have much time to move it because he spent 2 nights in jail this week, both for public intoxication.
Oh, he had a beer in his hand when he came upon me and my son-in-law. Yeah, so it was obvious. And then as we left, a lady, I don't know whether it was his girlfriend or whoever, had brought another six-pack down to the beach.
And while he was behind bars, this man says he's been watching it. Who's going to watch it, though?
Me.
How do we know you're not going to take the parts?
I'm not a thief.
And that is one of the concerns of police tonight. Now, they do say, despite all of these troubles, they've genuinely been trying to work with Mr. Calabrese to remove this boat from the beach. They say that's their main priority for the public's safety. And in the meantime, he's staying right nearby at the Super 8 Motel. Reporting live in Norfolk, I'm Ann McNamara, 10 on your side.
Today, Governor Bob McDonnell asked for a federal disaster declaration to help 22 cities and counties recover from Hurricane Irene. The storm caused flooding and high winds that caused $39 million worth of damage and emergency response costs. 4 people across the Commonwealth died, including Zahir Robinson. The 11-year-old Newport newsboy was killed when a tree fell onto his apartment. Included in the request for federal disaster assistance, Chesapeake, Emporia, Hampton, Newport News, Norfolk, Poquoson, Portsmouth, Suffolk, Virginia Beach, Williamsburg, Isle of Wight, Southampton, York, and James City counties.
Hampton police responded to a call overnight of a car on fire in a lake. 10 on your side, viewer Thomas Howell sent us these pictures to report it at WAVY.com. This is at the Lakeshore Apartments along Todd's Lane. That fire was out when crews arrived. Police say no one was inside the car. It's not clear how the car ended up in a lake or how it caught fire.
10 on your side is tracking 2 storms in the tropics, Katia and now Lee. Red flag warnings are up on the beaches along the Alabama coast. Mississippi's governor and New Orleans mayor declared states of emergency. So what is the projected path of these storms?
Well, Chief Meteorologist Don Slater is in the Super Appleton Weather Center now to tell us. Don?
And we've got moderate rip currents for our area, too, and some very minor tidal flooding that goes on every now and then. But again, nothing big for us. Hurricane Katia, way on off into the Atlantic. Still a minimal hurricane at this point with 75-mile-an-hour winds. It's moving to the northwest at 10 miles an hour and is expected to strengthen. It's kind of entering a hostile environment. Get blown apart for a while, but it will strengthen to a Category 2 by Wednesday afternoon, this coming Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock, 110-mile-an-hour winds. Now, the forecast models are so far bringing it on off the coastline, but again, you can't be sure this early in the game, so we do want to watch it very carefully. There's one forecast model which does deviate from the rest. It's the British one, and it tends to push it on toward Cuba and southern Florida. What's going on with Lee? Brand new tropical storm as of 2 o'clock this afternoon. This is going to be a huge rainmaker for the Gulf of Mexico and likely continue as a tropical storm for a time, then fall apart. You'll note that it's a very wide cone here, indicating we don't know where the remnants of this thing are going to go. But we could see some rain coming up out of that by Tuesday and Wednesday in our area in terms of just kind of a smudge of rainfall. We're not going to be directly affected off of that. We'll tell you more about what we can expect for our holiday weekend in just a few minutes.
Even before the runners cross the finish line, the city of Virginia Beach says it's already a big winner. New at 5:30, how the Rock and Roll Half Marathon will give a big boost to the struggling economy.
More than a dozen ambulances and over 100 doctors and nurses will be in Virginia Beach for the Rock and Roll Half Marathon. But is that enough? Hear advice from a woman whose son died at the race last year.
And as we approach the 10th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, a warning from travelers. We're also on your side with advice on talking to your children and calming their fears as they see increased coverage of the dark day in America's history.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 5 with Tom Shad, Nicole Libas, and Super Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
Just days before the 10th anniversary of 9/11, the U.S. State Department is issuing a worldwide travel alert. The State Department says there is no specific threat, but overseas travelers are urged to be on guard because terrorist groups can attack anywhere. The U.S. says that Americans abroad should register on the State Department's website or at any embassy or consulate.
A new exhibit at the museum in D.C. is making sure visitors never forget the September 11th terrorist attacks. For the 10th anniversary, the FBI donated special artifacts recovered in the attacks and used as evidence. 2 engines that the FBI now calls weapons belong to the second plane that crashed into the World Trade Center in New York. Also on display, victims' cell phones that were ringing days after the attack. The exhibit also shows what the war on terror has been like here in this country post 9/11.
It shows the awareness of everyday people of the threat. They got involved, and that's what we all have to do. We're all responsible for our own safety.
The clothing and shoes worn by shoe bomber Richard Reed are also on display. There's also his passport, his plane ticket, even the matches he used in the failed attempt to ignite the bomb on a plane.
As coverage of the 9/11 anniversary ramps up, children and teens may ask a lot of questions or even experience anxiety about the attacks. The American Academy of Pediatrics encourages parents and teachers to be aware of giving children a positive message. Reassure them how families, schools, and government workers, they try hard to keep them safe. Experts urge parents to seek their pediatrician's help if their children still need help processing their feelings.
Less than a week before President Obama is set to roll out his new plan to create jobs, there's a new report on unemployment. We'll tell you what our economy hasn't seen in more than half a century.
The Rock and Roll Half Marathon is a big event this weekend at the beach. Tonight we have life-saving advice from a mother whose son died last year running in that race.
We got a few clouds in our area, but there's no rainfall going on whatsoever. One of these lightning strikes off toward the Roanoke and the Martinsville, western Danville area. Big thunderstorms going on there. What's ahead for us in our weekend? We're looking good. We'll tell you all about it in just a few minutes.
Another blow to our economy. The August jobs report is out. It shows hiring came to a halt last month with no jobs added. The White House had been hoping to see 60,000 jobs added to the economy. That's the first time that's happened since 1945. The U.S. unemployment numbers are at a standstill, remaining at 9.1%. It's the weakest job report in nearly a year.
Yes, correct. When you've inherited the worst recession since the Great Depression, you need stronger job growth to dig out of the hole.
I don't know if technically that is a recession, but you know what? To the American worker, it sure feels like one.
Next week, President Obama will present his long-awaited jobs plan to a joint session of Congress. Economic advisors say the president will lay out plans which will help businesses expand and create opportunities for people who've been struggling to find work. NBC News will provide live team coverage of the presidential address on Thursday night at 7 right here on WAVY TV 10. Well, if you're one of the thousands signed up to run the Rock and Roll Half Marathon this weekend, we have some advice that could save your life.
The woman whose son died after running last year contacted 10 on Your Side. Stephanie Harris talked with her this morning about her big concern. Steph?
Nicole, Vida, this right here, this is it. In Patricia McCarthy's own words, she would like us to broadcast loud and clear the importance of having an automated external defibrillator at every race event. When you hook this up, an AED, you can automatically diagnose a heart problem.
Package and remove pads.
Tells you exactly how to do it, and it will deliver a shock when it's needed. Now, she believes her son might still be alive if one had been used on him. Most runners don't set out to win a half marathon, but no one intends to lose their life.
It's funny, since he was a little kid, he wanted to run fast.
Sean McCarthy ran track in school and continued to train as an adult. The 27-year-old's death at the end of the 2010 Rock and Roll Half Marathon in Virginia Beach completely shocked his family.
There's no one to blame, and I just, like I said, I don't want anybody else to suffer the loss. Oh my God, the loss of him is...
23-year-old Eric Williamson of Chesapeake also died near the finish line of the Rock and Roll in 2009. A study done that same year showed for every 100,000 who run, one will die.
On Sunday morning, the safest place to be in Virginia Beach, if you're not standing in the middle of an emergency room, is on our race course.
Dr. Louis Mahara, medical director for the Rock and Roll series, assured us there will be at least 30 AEDs and 170 medical volunteers in red shirts. Race organizers are setting up medical tents about every mile along the route with 5 ambulances. In addition, Virginia Beach is sending 14 of their ambulances out around the perimeter.
If you don't feel well, get some medical attention.
Maharan offers these pre-race tips as well. Limit caffeine to just 2 small cups of coffee on race morning and pass on energy shots and drinks. Caffeine can irritate the heart. Take a baby aspirin to eliminate blood clots. And if you notice a runner become weak or wobbly like McCarthy did, help him to a medical tent, not the finish line.
There's no glory in finishing if you're hurting your body.
Now, a lot of runners I know also take painkillers like Aleve, Advil, or Motrin. The doctor says leave these anti-inflammatory drugs for after the race. Taking these before can lead to kidney damage, and do not deviate from your training. If you've never sprinted the last mile before, don't do it on race day. Stephanie Harris, 10 on your side.
Now, in high definition, your Super Doppler 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
No rainfall into our area. We've got some cloud cover, but it's nothing real big. It's pretty thin and kind of mid-level into the area, and you can look outside your window and see that. As far as the rainfall, yep, the big thunderstorms going on into the Roanoke areas, west of Danville, kind of southwest of the Martinsville area, right along the state line, and that's dropping slowly southward. There have been numerous severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for that area. Now, if you're just joining us and look at the tropics, and I'm not concerned about either one of these, especially the one that into here, Lee, the brand new one, but we'll cover Katia first, show you what's going on with that. 75-mile-an-hour winds moving to the northwest at 10. It's kind of entering basically an area that gets sprayed apart just a bit, so it's not going to intensify hugely. Yesterday, we were thinking it was going to be a 120-mile-an-hour storm, but it looks like it should in the long run. Again, with fingers crossed, just too early to say for sure, but so far it looks like it'll stay out off the coastline and just give us some wave action coming up sometime by the end of next week. There's where it is again by Wednesday of next week. Here's a look at the big picture, and we move on into Tropical Storm Lee. This is not going to be a huge wind maker, but it is going to be a huge rain maker for that part of the world. 10 to 15 inches of rain with some localized areas, as much as 20 inches of rain possible as the storm slowly drenches that area. 45-mile-an-hour winds right now. It could bump up slightly, but not too terribly much. And then it's going to be just somewhere into here, somewhere within this cone by next Wednesday. So again, that's 5 days away that this area is really going to get soaked. And really some of that rainfall could slide on off to the northeast by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week into our area, but we're not going to get a tropical storm out of it. But we could get some tropical rainfalls into the middle of next week. Great weekend ahead, though. Again, what we've got going on by Monday is there's a cool front down into here. That cool front will be into here. It'll tend to funnel some moisture up toward Tuesday and Wednesday out of that storm. Now, this is the weekend for our area. We get some cloud cover for tomorrow. More sunshine coming up during the day on Sunday. But you will note, again, this cool front right into here, and that cool front is going to tend to funnel some moisture northward not by Sunday, but I think by Tuesday. I think we'll start to see some rainfall out of the leftovers of what's going on with Lee. Great weekend ahead. A few clouds out there right now, mid-level clouds. We take a look at the day for tomorrow. It'll likely be around 80 to 85. We'll average things out 82, 83 for tomorrow. We move on into Sunday morning. It'll be a little warmer during the day on Sunday, around 86 degrees. Nice warm day coming up for Sunday. Thin clouds into the area right now, 75, 74, 78 degrees. High today, a little warmer, 81. It's still 81 in Chesapeake and Suffolk. So again, we've seen some warmer air, especially in the inland areas once again for today. Overnight, what do we got going on? It drops on down to 64 degrees. And during the day tomorrow, 82, 86 on Sunday. Not a real big chance of rain coming up for Labor Day, but we could see Lee's leftovers. Highly questionable, but it looks like it could smear northward coming up by Tuesday and Wednesday. But the big story is get out and enjoy the weekend. Things are looking terrific.
A burning SUV rescue caught on tape will tell you how this vehicle ended up on its side and on fire.
He felt lost without his limbs, but tonight at 5:30 we'll show you how this military vet and quadruple amputee is finding a new life under the water.
A 6.8 magnitude earthquake rattled Alaska this morning. The quake hit parts of the Aleutian Islands around 3 a.m. The area is very remote and not heavily populated. A tsunami warning issued after the rumble was later canceled. There are no reports of any injuries or damage.
A shark left 28 bite marks on a Florida teenager's leg. The 19-year-old was surfing in Crescent Beach, south of St. Augustine, when he says it felt like someone punched him in the leg. He says he looked down and saw a 6-foot shark swimming away. The teen walked to shore.
The water was probably somewhere around my belly button, and I just slid off the board, and as soon as I put my foot hit that sand, it just grabbed a hold of it real quick, and then it was gone.
Doctors gave the teen several stitches. A rescue caught on tape in Iowa. Take a look at this dash cam video from Des Moines on Sunday. Police say a car ran a red light and crashed into a Ford Explorer. You can see officers running towards the burning SUV, fighting flames to pull out the people who were trapped inside. One person died, 5 others were hurt. Officers arrested the suspected red light runner.
A clothing controversy will show you how a t-shirt meant for young girls got a retail giant in trouble with parents.
Back in the early years, every big star in show business used to show up on this thing.
But things are changing. We'll show you who else you won't see on this year's MDA Telethon this weekend.
Okay, well, at least I've made it through the first block. A reading, anyway.
Okay, I have some chicken that I need to use tonight. What should I make with it?
Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Anyone? Anyone?
Bueller, I have some chicken I need.
JCPenney is now apologizing to its customers for a controversial message on a t-shirt for young girls. It says, "I'm too pretty to do my homework, so my brother has to do it for me." After someone started an online petition to have the controversial clothing removed from Penny's online store, the company removed the t-shirt.
It demeans girls, and it also demeans boys. I mean, girls are just as capable of doing homework and has nothing to do with what girls look like.
That's kind of a message of just don't worry about it, be pretty. And I'm thinking, it doesn't last very long, and it really is kind of a risky thing to do in life.
Because it does imply that pretty girls can't be smart, but I think it's just a joke.
There's always two sides to every t-shirt. There's now a separate online petition to get JCPenney to put the t-shirt back on its website. Stay with us. WAVY News 10 at 5:30 starts right now.